Hello, this is Tim Patterson, and we're here today to talk about GunCraze. So, what is GunCraze? GunCraze is an action tabletop role playing system that brings players into intense action combat, pushing the boundaries of realism. And what do I mean by pushing the boundaries of realism? Well, anybody that enjoys a good 80s, 90s action movie understands when realism gets pushed a little bit. That character throws a knife through the enemy and pins him through a wall. Could it happen? Maybe. And that's the type of realism we're talking about pushing. GunCraze is a system that uses D10s. Successes in GunCraze are determined by the roll of a 10-sided dice, and they're compared normally to a target number or to an opposed roll, usually from an opponent. GunCraze uses a 2-second round, where characters can either perform a movement and an action, or perform a combination action. GunCraze uses a classless system that offers a large amount of variation of character development. There are literally millions of character customization combinations. Characters are customized by specializations, attributes, perks, talents, skills, and then their weapons and equipment. And we're going to get into all these in different videos. In future videos, we're going to discuss that character creation. We're going to talk about talents. We're going to talk about skills. We're going to talk about the different types of weapons. We're going to talk about craze points. GunCraze is currently in an alpha testing, meaning it's still in development. You can support GunCraze directly by subscribing.
All right, good evening. Welcome to the GunCraze stream. Tim Patterson. I'm going to be getting right into it tonight. We're going to be going into rifle talents. I made several notes and have some other ideas for rifle talents. I'm excited about these. We were in the process of implementing some current rifle talents, and on my spare time, I went ahead and drafted up some more. So I'm excited to bring those to you and talk about ideas. All right. Hey, if you're joining us now, thanks for stopping by. Drop a line in the chat if you want. If you haven't followed yet, please do. All right. And we're going to get started. So last time we're covering talents that characters that have talent points in ranged combat who want to become better with a rifle. What talents do they have that make them better with a rifle? What's kind of the case scenario for having a rifle? All right, so let's talk about rifles and pistols real quick, because that's kind of always like a thing. All right, in an action movie, a rifle and a pistol are not as far apart as they are in real life. There is no question the difference between a pistol and a rifle in real life. All right, rifles have basic penetrating power. They hit hard. And they can do just a tremendous amount more of damage that a pistol could do. However, both of them can just kill you, of course. But this is GunCraze. This is an action hero tabletop RPG, not a superhero RPG. That has to be put out there. That'll come later. Add-ons and side things. Definitely down the road. It'd be fun. But the concept is a rifle, but you want to make sure that every class of weapon has its reason to play. All right. One of the downsides of a rifle, role-playing wise, is you can't take it anywhere without everybody knowing you have a rifle. You just can't walk into the enemy lounge and be like, I have the rifle in my hand, and nothing's going to happen to you. All right. You're going to get engaged immediately by security or more immediately. All right. Even good guy security, police, any type of law enforcement, you're just walking up into somewhere with a full rifle. Depending on the scenario and how the gun master is playing the game, it can get pretty bad pretty quick. So that being said, rifles, as far as concealability, rifles don't have it. All right. However, let's talk about some of the weapons we've done already for ranged weapons. We've done the pistols. Pistols are highly versatile and actually have a little bit better chance in melee combat or up close with an enemy because of their short size. SMGs are all about emptying ammunition. It's all about just dumping tons of ammunition. It's about suppressive fire. All right. That's a SMG. So now we're in our third class, which is the rifle. The rifle is about single point of basically straight DPS damage, DPS, straight to the character and bring him out of the fight. All right, one character at a time. You're not trying to take out a room with a rifle. All right, you're trying to take a guy down one at a time. Now, this is to separate. Now we got other weapons to talk about we haven't gotten into yet. So shotguns are very versatile, right? They have tons of different ammunition that they can use to change out their effect of their damage, all right, or whatever they're going to do. Sniper rifles are all about accuracy and taking one shot to deal everything you need to deal with. All right. So sniper rifles are they make a rifle as far as single point damage, they make it look kind of weak, but the rifle's still really powerful in a way because it has versatility. The sniper rifle doesn't have versatility. You're not going full auto on your sniper rifle, okay? You can take that selector switch on that rifle, it's an automatic rifle. You switch it to full auto, now you've just completely changed your capabilities. All right. Are you going to shoot as many rounds downrange as the SMG? No. Are you going to shoot damaging rounds downrange? Yes, you are. All right. You're not going to cover an entire room of ammunition, but you're going to be able to manage your ammunition better as a rifle user. Okay. Are they as concealable as SMGs? No, they're not. You're going to have problems sneaking them around place. But if you had too many SMGs on you, you could walk around with those in your back pockets or hidden in holsters and take them anywhere, just like a pistol user can. So, kind of bridging the gap between the rifle and the pistol, the SMG is the perfect case scenario. So, what else do we have? We have support weapons. Okay, support weapons is kind of one of the harder weapon ideas to explain in GunCraze because it's all about very big guns that do a lot of damage. All right, a flamethrower is a support weapon. Okay, there are ways that you can unlock support weapons. They are going to be. I am going to set them up when we get to their talents. I'm going to set them up to be more expensive. Okay, right off the bat, just because you have support weapons, you'll have to unlock, even be able to use a support weapon. So, that being said, your first points in support weapons are going to be going to even unlocking the ability to use a support weapon like a light machine gun, and so on and so forth. So that is kind of a plan for the support weapons. All right, making self notes as things pop in my head. I try to write them down so I keep going and because I will forget things. Got a little bit of ADD, all right? Who does it nowadays, right? It's 2025, all right? So if an idea pops in my head, I write it down as fast as I can because it'll run out. It'll take off, all right? So that being said, let's see. All right, so we were working on talents. We were actually listing them on the sheet. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to kind of roll back and I'm going to add some of these other ideas that I'd come up with to flesh out and make rifle talents a little more, a little bigger. All right, have a little more options. All right, because the idea is to have as many options where the players don't always do the same thing. They try different things. Okay, by things costing a certain amount of talent points, you might have to wait several power levels before you can pick these things up. All right, so that being said, one of the ones I'm going to add, and I had two different names for this. Actually, I like the second one better. So armor cracker. And Buster's the other one. I like Buster better. Kind of a nod. All right, so Armor Buster, what it's going to do, the concept of it is for armor piercing rounds or something in the game, they actually have an effect. Well, the Armor Buster talent is going to improve the effect of those armor piercing rounds, okay? So that's kind of the goal for that. All right, so immediately, I have not made the summary yet, So I'm going to go ahead and highlight this area and turn it red, because everything in here, that always happens. Stuff I don't want to select gets selected. All right, so we'll go ahead and turn that to automatic. All right. So now I got to think. I'm looking at the spread. I got rifles 1, 1, 1. I got 2, 2. I have 1, 3. So hey, you know what? Rifles 3. We'll keep it in the 3. That's a good place to put it. That means you have to have 3 ranks in rifles to even buy this talent. Okay, and I'm fairly certain I'm going to. I'm fairly certain I'm going to cross use this talent as well. So let's get into the when firing armor piercing rounds with a rifle. All right, add 1 advantage dice. Okay, so so the concept is that you're just better. It gives you an advantage dice. What is an advantage dice? All right, if you're just joining us and you haven't been following along, an advantage dice basically it adds a dice of damage, but then you lose the lowest dice of damage. For example, an AR-15 would do 2d6 damage. If you had an advantage dice, you'd roll 3d6 and drop the lowest. Okay. So that being said, and then cross use. We'll replace rifles with weapons. Right, we'll replace rifle with ranged weapons. All right, and that's going to make it, based on the way I do things, just an easier. Is 2 talent points, and then 4 talent points. So cross use is always double. All right, and that's armor buster, and that again the concept is to build. So let's go look at armor piercing, because one of the reasons why I have you guys here and walking through this is so that we can kind of backtrack through and make sure that these rules are written down and make sense, right? There's 240 pages of rules right now. If you started with us, 13 episodes ago, we were at 237. So we're actually adding content to this book. Okay, trying to get it up to that rough around 300 page core rule book, just for everything that you could need it for. Okay, and that's why I hope you guys join us and say some of your points. Say something you're thinking about, or even just say, hey, that's pretty cool, or hey, you're crazy. Whatever it is, shoot it out here, because this is being made for you guys. And a lot of the community has helped build GunCraze. A lot of ideas have come from playtesters. Okay, so we're going to move down to armor piercing. Actually, what I'm going to do is new window. So whenever you're using Microsoft Word, you can hit new window, and it will open up another version of what you're working on within, hopefully, a relative time that'll be useful here. Maybe I didn't hit it hard enough. I'm afraid to hit it again, because you know what's going to happen. It will open up like 7 times at some point. All right. I think it's been long enough. We're going to go ahead and take another stab at new window. All right, there we go. All right, cool. We're going to zoom in. And we're going to head down to the core rules, or down to the combat rules. Those are vehicle rules, which are great. I just want to tell you, vehicles are pretty important in GunCraze, so they had to have a little different rules. It's not like vehicles. Oh, what's going on? Oriole Maxon! Woo! Thank you for the join. All right. Nice, nice. All right. Okay. Hey, you know what? Thanks a lot, Oriole, for the ad. All right. So now moving on. We're going to go down to we're looking for armor piercing, right? So what it is actually a type of ammunition. So we're kind of jump the gun there. We're going to go to ammunition special rules. All right. We're looking for armor piercing. All right. So this is what it says. These rounds are typically designed with a harder and denser core, often made of materials like steel or tungsten, which enables to maintain their structural integrity and penetrate through barriers. However, this design characteristic can result in reduced tissue disruption upon impact with softer targets. Unlike expanding rounds, which are designed to transfer energy and create a larger wound channel, armor-piercing rounds are engineered to maintain their shape and focus on penetrating a target. Armor-piercing rounds add an extra 6 damage included in the profile when an attack does its first point of damage to armor points. Okay, wow, okay, so 6 damage. That's what it currently says. I get it. All right, so let's talk about what's happening. And this round is made to penetrate armor. And by you shooting this round, it's going to add 6 damage if it hits armor first. If it doesn't hit armor, it's not going to add anything. Okay? So I had this written a couple different ways. And it used to be add a d6. It would just add a d6 of damage. But if you hit a soft target, you would lose damage. All right, so let's go back again. I like to revert to other. Hold on a minute. We're going to go do some research. I'm going to take you on a little trip through my folder system. All right, with all my randomness, and we're going to go to. Let's see, March 2024. And we're going to head over to GunCraze Miniature Battles Rulebook. All right, so GunCraze Miniature Battles is an actual tabletop skirmish board, tabletop game. And you can pick it up on Amazon real cheap. It's only 50 pages, and it contains essentially all the rules. Okay, that's cool. Started out in a random spot, but all right. So let's see what happens here. We're looking at I actually probably prefer this method of armor piercing over the one that adds a straight 6, and that probably had to do with some concepts that I was working on. Armor piercing. All right. So this is the GunCraze Miniature Battles rulebook. So GunCraze Miniature Battles is a tabletop skirmish game. GunCraze, the role-playing game, is obviously a tabletop role-playing game. They use essentially the same rules. That's kind of something that I always wanted to stay with. And I'm actually going to revert. I'm going to change this armor piercing back to the way it is in here because I like it. I've always liked it. So when attacking with a profile with the armor piercing special rule, this is how it's worded in GunCraze Miniature Battles, but it's essentially the same thing. You don't have to learn 2 systems. You can play either system fairly easily. All right. Attacks deal an additional, and check out that book right there. Come on now. Come on, check out this book. All right now. That's a nice looking book. Hopefully it shows up. It probably doesn't because stuff. That's great. That's great that it doesn't even show up, but we'll deal with it later. All right. It says, however, the initial point of damage would be dealt to a hit location with no armor points. The highest damage dice roll is negated. After advantage dice are considered, reflecting the reduced effectiveness of armor-piercing ammunition against soft targets. This is the way armor-piercing should be. And I'm going to go ahead and steal that because, again, these are supposed to be the same rules. So, addition down the road, maybe shift it. We'll see how it goes. So I'm going to add it right here in text. Oh, look at that. That's always one of those fun things that happen when you grab too much. I dug too deep. All right. So you see it's angry. We'll just make it normal. And that's even better and horrible at the same time. Weird stuff. It's all good. I've done stuff like that a bunch. All right, armor piercing attacks design. All right, so I already have kind of a description. All right, And let's see here. All right. When attacking with when attacking armor piercing ammunition, attacks deal an additional 1d6 damage when the first point of damage dealt is assigned to armor points. All right. So that wording, I'm going to shift it just slightly. Again, it's going to be the same rules, but all right. All right, so when the first point of damage is assigned to armor points, let's see. Attacks deal an additional 1d6 damage. When the first point of damage dealt is assigned to armor points, let's see. All right. When the first point of damage dealt would be. And there's no attack profiles in GunCraze. Attack profiles are on the GunCraze Miniature Battles character cards that are at guncraze.net. You can check them out. I don't want to go down that road because it'll be a large tangent. Not ready to go down it yet. All right, let's see here. Attacks deal an additional 1 damage when the first point of damage dealt would be assigned to armor points. However, if the initial point of the damage would be dealt to a hit location with no armor points, the highest damage dice roll is negated after advantage dice are considered, reflecting reduced effectiveness of armor-piercing ammunition against soft targets. Okay. And really, hollow point is supposed to be the opposite of that, so I can only imagine that... Yep. Okay. So this is actually written still the way it should be for hollow point. So hollow point hits armor, it is less effective. All right? When a armor piercing hits armor, it also causes that armor to shatter and tear into the body, which increases the damage. When an armor piercing round hits a soft target, it overpenetrates and just leaves just as small and thin as it came in. Okay, so that's... Now we're not talking about like a 20 mic round like on an aircraft. That would obviously just explode somebody. All right, we're just talking about normal rifle rounds. If the round itself, if it's spinning, it will go right through the body and just move on. All right, that's why in some combats where the enemy is very skinny or scrawny, bullets will overpenetrate them all the time. And a good 9mm with a big fat round at the front actually does a lot of damage, or a 45, something that hits them with a lot of stopping power. Hollow points also add to that. Okay, so we got that back. When piercing N, right? When attacking with armor piercing ammunition, attacks deal an additional 1d6 damage when the first point of damage be assigned armor points. However, if the initial point of damage would be dealt to a hit location with no armor points, the highest damage dice rolled is negated. Okay. Yep. Essentially. All right, so we're going to move back to armor and see what is this thing actually going to do now? What is this talent? It adds an advantage dice. All right, so you're going to get an extra advantage dice, which is ideal to give you a higher chance of rolling larger damage. All right. That being said, let's see. All right, we're going to head back to the other page. All right, so that's Armor Buster. Let's see here. All right, I had let's see. I have several ideas on here. Mobile Rifleman. Okay, Armor Buster. Snap Aim. All right, so Snap Aim. Snap Aim might have to become quickness instead of a rifle thing, because you could do that with any weapon. Let me make a note real quick. Yes. All right. Let's see. So another one would be, so the concept of armor buster is that you're proficient at shooting armor where it does the most damage to the armor. All right, so that's that type of round. When we go back and we look at the other types of ammunition, armor piercing, blast, all right, explosive core, high explosive, high quality, hollow point, master quality, non-lethal, scrap, shoddy, special ammo training and stabbing. I do feel like some rounds were missed. Let me take a look. So, we have a lot of shotgun rounds. So that's a great thing. If you're interested in being like the wizard of the party, if you will, carry the shotgun, because you can just switch out and do so many different things. Don't want to kill somebody, load a beanbag round. And now you're just beating the heck out of them from a distance. Let's see here. So we have the rounds that are not on here. I might have took them out and put them in the next rule book, which would not be ideal. Let me take a peek at it real quick. So this in the first book that we're looking at right now is called Days of Reckoning. It starts in the year 2050. It's basically when the GunCraze storyline starts. The entirety of the Internet of Things is destroyed. All of it, everything, nothing survives. If it was connected to the Internet, it's gone. If it wasn't connected to the Internet, it has a chance. All right. That being said, that period of time lasts a few years, and after that, corporations who have been hiding in the darkness start to come up, and that leads to book 2, Rise of the Corporations. Okay. So, Rise of the Corporations, I have things in here that are not in the other book. So I'm going to go ahead and look at advanced ammunition. Oh, yeah, what do you got to hold shift? Hold on. It tells you here. Control click. Okay. Advanced ammunition. Let's see. Apparently, I did not come up with any advanced ammunition. So that means it doesn't exist in this book, which is great. What I'm looking for is incendiary ammo. All right, also known as tracer rounds. Okay, tracer rounds are fun. All right, gotten to fire several of them. All right, you load them. You actually don't load them every round. You load them every few rounds. All right. That way it doesn't look like you're shooting like a arcing laser through the sky, which is cool. If you've ever seen it, let's see if I can grab a video of that real quick. All right, window. All right. Let's see if we can find that. So, tracer rounds. Kind of the concept, right? Oh, I don't hope nothing. So we got some tracer rounds. Look at them. See, they're not every round, but it's every few rounds, okay? Now, I want you to note that there's fire in the background. That's kind of an important thing. These fires sometimes are started by the actual ammunition because they are actually burning with fire. Okay? So that being said, that's something we got to keep in mind. So, armor, incendiary, and tracer rounds are the same thing. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and build that out real quick because I do just a little quick blurb actually. And the concept behind that is I just need to have something in here so I can use my next talent that I'm coming up with to even make sense. All right. Incendiary. All right. Oof, I got it right. It's nice, right? I'm a victim of the Florida public school system. I'm just joking. Florida's fine. I always say little things like that because I went through a lot of schools. All right. Not that I was a bad student. We moved a lot. And I mean a lot. I mean 33 times in 18 years. All right. So, moving on. Let's see. Incendiary rounds, also known as tracer rounds, burn white hot phosphorus. Ooh, hold on. Let's see here. Little research. Sometimes, you know, my memory isn't perfectly peaked. So what we do is do the research, right? No big problem with doing the research. Tracer ammunition or tracers are bullets or cannon caliber projectiles that are built with a small pyrotechnic charge in the base. When fired, the pyrotechnic composition is ignited by the burning power and burns very brightly, making the projectile trajectory visible to the naked eye during daylight and very bright during nighttime firing. This allows the shooter to visually trace the trajectory of the projectile and make necessary ballistic corrections without having to confirm projectile impacts and without having to use sights of the weapon. Tracer fire can also be used as a marking tool. All right, so let's talk about construction. Made of a mixture of finely cut metallic fuel, oxidizer, and a small amount of organic fuel. Metallic fuels include magnesium, aluminum, and zirconium. All right, so not phosphorus. That's something completely different. Which is great. I knew something was up. It didn't sound right because white phosphorus burns white, kind of, right? And these don't. They burn orange. All right. So shot many of them. Have no idea what they're made of apparently until just now. That's why we do the research to give you guys a quality product. All right. I'm just gonna kind of start it off. And I'll fix that with text. And what I'm going to do now is incendiary rounds deal. Let's see. What I want to happen with a round that lights on fire would be they deal thermal damage instead of normal damage. Yeah, I'm done with that. Just like a laser deals thermal damage, this thing will do thermal damage instead of... no, I won't put instead. And have a chance to ignite the target on fire. Okay, cool. We'll I'll play around with that. I'm gonna just make it all red. Yeah. All right. So I'll have to go back and just kind of fine tune that because there's certain circumstances where they won't, the target has to be cloth and being a semi-realistic game, I have to put something in there because I don't want, well, I just lit your robot on fire. Well, my robot's completely metal. How'd you do that, So that being said, we'll get back and fix that text. And then I'm going to shoot back to this page here. All right. And what this is going to be called is, it goes before K. And this is going to be I don't know if I like training. I don't know if I like that. Let me come up with something better. All right, we can call it a tracer shot. All right. And I'll move it to the right spot. Oh, actually, I'll just go ahead and move it real quick. we'll try tracer shot, see how I feel about it as it goes by. If you have any ideas, just throw them in the chat. So they're going to do a couple things for you other than just that's what this is going to do. The tracer shot's going to do something for you more than a normal incendiary round would do. So the incendiary round's going to deal thermal damage, but the tracer shot is going to use that incendiary round when firing incendiary rifle ammunition, and gain let's see here. When firing incendiary rifle ammunition, hits cause -2 to their defense rolls. It's a thought. The thought is maybe having the rifle user have an ability that he can use to fire a tracer round, hit the target. All right, so if he hits, it kind of flares the spot where the guy is. Now everybody can see it. And therefore, everybody can shoot that guy. All right? Now, the question with that is how potent is that going to be, or is that really where I want to go with the rifle user? I have other things that probably should do that. Sniper rounds would probably be better to mark targets. So maybe I'll back that off. What I'm going to do is, all right. So let's talk about igniting a target. Let's step back and look about what that even means. All right. I'm going to go through things, all right, because that's how we have to work our way through all this. All right. So, flamethrowers. Flamethrowers do thermal damage, all right. That's important to note. Lasers do thermal damage. There's a special rule for thermal damage, and it is, well, laser. All right, laser. Let's see. Flaming critical. Instead of choosing the other critical hit options, there's actually several that you can choose from when you roll a critical hit. You may choose the defender to gain a flame counter. All right. Flame counters are effectively you getting lit on fire. Okay. And they cause bad things to happen. So let's move down to, I think it's called environmental damage. And give me just a moment. Grappling conditions. We'll look here. We'll just type in flame counter. Why not, right? So it comes up once there. Comes up under the flame counter, flamethrower. All right. And of course, that's all right. This is why I do this. This is the case in point why this has to be done. I work sometimes in other forums because I don't have access to my computer. I'll be like on a break at work and I'll be jotting down information and this whole thing. Well, apparently the flame counters part was never added to this rule book, so I have to add it. I had a whole concept of a section called elemental damage or environmental damage. I haven't really kind of played around with that. But let's look at, I gotta find that pub. All right, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and set that aside because I don't want to eat your guys' time up. digging through all my files. All right. Find flame counter info. Noted. Literally noted. All right. Oh, since we're here, we'll just take a quick peek, at the support weapons. Why not? All right, we got our light machine gun, 2d6 damage. 2d6 damage. All right. Auto 4 has the illegal special rule. All right. Slow reload 2. Medium machine gun. Heavy machine gun. Light laser machine gun. A medium laser machine gun. A heavy laser machine gun. A micro gun. A minigun. Laser repeater. Compact grenade launcher. Single shot grenade launcher. Semi-automatic grenade launcher. Automatic grenade launcher. Missile launcher. Anti-air missile launcher. Flamethrower. And an LRAD, a long-range acoustic device. So that's the different types of support weapons that are in the GunCraze rulebook right now. Each one has a little bit different abilities. All right. So moving on. So what I'm going to do with that talent is just simple. All right. When firing incendiary rifle ammunition, let's see here. All right. When firing rifles that deal thermal damage, deal one flame counter to hit targets. Probably not the best wording. I'll kind of play around with that. Tracer shot. I'll come up with a better name too. The whole thing needs to be read, and that's fine. All right. So that being said, and this is going to be high rifles 3 as well. Why not? All right. And I'll play around with that. I'm not sure if I like that name. There's probably better ones to use. Okay. So we'll keep working with that one. All right. Mobile rifleman. Mobile. It's a great question. Mobile rifle. I had an idea, mobile rifleman, and it has fallen out of my brain. So that's why I'm saying it over and over again. So hopefully that it pops back in. I don't know if you guys ever had that problem, but when you think about rules a lot, things pop in your brain and they leave right fast. All right, if you don't write them down fast enough. I wrote down the name at least. That being said, all right, expose weakness. Expose weakness was a thought, but I'm not a fan of it anymore. Bounding fire. Bounding fire. Move and shoot bonus. Okay. So bounding fire. The concept is bounding is when oh gosh, let's see. There's a movie with Bruce Willis, and it's basically you tap the guy. You move to the right or the left. You tap the guy's back as you pass him to let him know you're passing him. All right, and so that's bounding. And bounding fire is you're doing that while you're firing down range as well. And the concept behind that is to make yourself harder to hit by continuously moving. So it was a thought to come up with something like that. So that is a question. Another one, yeah, penetrating strike. I wanted to do this one. Essentially, the concept of penetrating strike would be to shoot a guy and it go through him and hit the guy behind him as well. To hit 2 targets with 1 round. Okay? Because that could always be fun and it would be thematic. It would be very action hero-y, all right, to shoot through somebody and hit another person. So, and I think rifles is the perfect spot to kind of spawn something like that. So, it'll be as a P. Okay. And we're going to make this one cost a lot. We're going to make this one a rifles 5. Actually, we'll make this 6. Let's see here. Let's see. Penetrating strike. I will come up with that at a later time. I have the name, I know what the concept is, you know, but I have to play around with it a little bit more before I just spill something on here. All right. Let's see here. Fire, penetrating strike, incendiary training. It was going to be the name for that target or that tracer shot one, and I'll come up with a name. So that leaves me back down at not a lot right now. All right, for ideas. But I do want to take some time and show off some other things that is going on. All right, and number one of those is going to be Wartop, which is a virtual tabletop simulator. All right, made by Two Beards Games. It's a beautiful version. It should open up here in a moment. All right. All right, so when you hit start in Wartop, all right, you see over here on the right, GunCraze Miniature Battles. There's all sorts of games out here that comes with it. All these games come with it, okay? Including GunCraze Miniature Battles. So you click GunCraze Miniature Battles, you hit offline play, or you can do online play with somebody else. It's a virtual tabletop. All right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and load a map that I have saved. All right. One more time. All right. So right now, I've shown this off before. It's kind of a current battle. All right. I don't actually have any process at this point. I'm just kind of walking through how things work. All right. So here is Calru. Oh, hold on. Let's back these things off here. So Calru is a cyber edge hunter. The cyber edge hunters are these guys that are kind of greenish teal, and they're fighting against the pink. All right. Batchoy clowns, okay? Oh, that's special. All right. So these are Batchoy clowns. They are very fat. They have a ton of health. And they're so drugged up that they can get through most of the pain. So it takes a while to kill them. All right. That being said, so Karu is going to, he wants to engage the enemy. He's trying to look for a spot where he can do damage. We're going to see what his movement is. It's his turn. All right. He can go slow movement of 2, normal movement of 3. He can run 5 or sprint 8. So let's take a look and see. All right. So diagonally, the first spot that he moves from is going to cost 1. If I do it again, it's going to cost 2 for a total of 3, 4, 5. If he made it here, okay. Even though his model's prone, he's not prone. He can take a shot at this guy right here, okay? Whose card is, I think, just glitched out, or I got to get with the guys over at Two Beards and get them to switch it out, because this is a faction card, all right? What is this? It's over there. Okay. That being said, so we move the run, and we just throw a run token on him, all right? So what does run say? Run says -1 shooting, +1 range defense, okay? So he's going to go ahead and take a shot at, you know what, because this guy's kind of not working right now, I'm just going to switch him off for the guy who is. It's good to be the gun master, all right? So what we're going to do is the same thing we've done before, is we're going to do the opposed roll. So I'm going to get the dice together for that. Oh, we're not rolling it. So he has 2 attacks. He has the Trigun 2 attacks, which is +7, +6. And he has a Trigun 4 attacks, right? However, he ran. All right, so running means at the end of running, you can, let's go ahead and take a look at the rules, because, you know, just to show you how it works. Oh, I'm playing the game. I have the rules right here. All right, comes with GunCraze Miniature Battle Rulebook right in here. So what does running do? Let's talk about it. All right. Just a minute. All right. So a run is a fast jog, also called running. A character completing a run move must move at least 2 squares. When a character making a run move moves more than 2 squares from their starting location, or is continuing to move from the previous turn, they are considered running. At the beginning of a subsequent turn, if they choose to move slower than run move, they lose the effect of running. Running incurs a -1 penalty on ranged attack rolls and a +1 on bonus attacks. So he's going to get his attacks, all right? So let's look at his attacks. He's going to get 2 attacks, +7, +6 for 2d6 damage, semi, and burst 3, okay? So, or he can use 4 attacks and go auto 4, all right? But he wants to do the first one. So he's going to be blue, and the Batroid Clown is going to be red for his defense. All right, so let's get these out where they don't get too much. All right. Now this is his first attack, mind you, so +7. The Batroid Clown has cover in the way, so he's going to use that cover. However, he's so fat he only gets a +2 on it, so that's the best he's going to get. So +7, +2. All right, they're going to roll. Okay, so the Batroid Clown got a 6, and he got a 6. So he got a 13. The Batroid Clown only got an 8. So the attacker has to decide, am I going to buff with any craze points? Well, he wants to put the pressure on this guy. So he's going to just use 1. He rolls a 2. So now his total, before which was 13, is now 15. 15 against, now that he's done, the Batroid Clown can decide whether he's going to take the shot or not. Okay? So he's like, well, I better not take the shot. I better roll all 3 of my craze points that I can roll. Oh, it rolled backwards. All right, so he's going to grab all 3 of those. How funny. I grabbed too much. All right. So he's going to roll 3 craze points, and he got 11, 12, 13. He got 15. 15 plus his original 6, which is 21, plus his 2 for cover is 23. 23 versus 15. The shot is a miss. All right. Therefore, now Calru here, he's happy. He's like, man, that guy just wasted a lot of craze points just to do this. All right, so now he's going to take a second shot with a +6. This guy's still going to get a +2 defense. All right, so we're going to roll it. All right, so +6, he's got an 11 versus a 6. He's going to do the same thing. He's just going to spend 1 this time. All right, Calru. So he had, again, he had 11. And now he's got a 6 on top of that. All right, so he has a 17 to hit. The Batroid Clown, who's already used 3 craze points, is a little worried. He's, you know what? I'm going to take the hit because I need to save. I have to survive this anyway. I'm pretty healthy. All right. He has a lot of hit points. All right. So now that means it's a hit. So Calru is going to go ahead and roll his D3 because it's a burst 3 weapon. And he scores a 3. That means the damage is tripled. All right? So he's going to be rolling 6d6 damage, all right, against the Batroid Clown at 1 hit location. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get that. We'll do it over on the table where we should be doing it. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, and we need a hit location dice, which is your D10. Roll. All right, it's going to go to the torso. 7, 13, 18, 20 points of damage to the 7. So we go over here and we look at oh, buddy. Runner make hot dog, and so it hit the 8, which is his torso, and it did 20 points of damage. So he still has 28 points of damage left on top of that. All right, but it hit his body, so he has to make a toughness test, and he gets a bonus of 12. So he was hoping that he wasn't going to have to work this hard. He rolls his toughness test. He's got a 12. He adds a 4, so that's only a 16. He needed to make a 20 for the 20 points of damage. He didn't, but he's going to burn a craze point. So he rolls a craze point, and now, all right, so he had the 16. Now he has a 21. The toughness test is passed. He suffers the damage, but he's strong enough to move on. All right, and that's basically a round of GunCraze miniature battles, just a shooting attack, okay? Now we'd go on to the next character. All right, that being said, Wartop is on Steam, roughly $13 or so. Definitely check it out. Check out Two Beard Games on Facebook as well. Make sure you stop by guncraze.net and take a look, see what's going on there. There's a lot to look at and a lot to learn about GunCraze, including videos. All right. That being said, I want to thank you guys for being on the stream tonight. I hope you have a great night and take care.